Ms. Wagon.
Good evening. How you all doing this evening?
Good evening.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you all spoke, because last time y'all act like y'all went to bed with me and didn't speak. But I come before you as a taxpayer. For those of you who do not know, my children came up through the school district. That's when this school district had a little sense, the school board did. And as of right now, from where I sit and I watch my tax dollars and watch you all play with my tax dollars, I see that you all have lost your mind. As of last month, I respectfully asked you all to consider your decision with 3 strong male role models and figures in this district. And I'm speaking of, and I already know what you all are going to say, we can't talk about personnel matters, but your personnel matters is touching my tax dollars and my property value is going down as much as you all play. And I'm talking about Mr. Glover, I'm talking about Mr. Holden, and I'm talking about Mr. James. And I know you all already know that because you all had that on your agenda for later on today. I'm going to read you all a little something, and if it's familiar to you, then I know where you at. If it's not, I think you all need to go and do some soul searching. It says, all scripture is breathed out by God and profitable for teaching, for reproof, for correction, you all need to be corrected, and for training in righteousness, that the man of God may be completely equipped for every good work. That gentleman, and Mr. James, they do good work. So what is your decision based on? I have to ask you that in the last 30 days, since you saw my face standing up here, if you honestly looked at yourself in the mirror, and if you can honestly say that these 3 gentlemen that had great performance reviews and are more qualified than most of you sitting up there, have more qualifications in a fingernail than you do in your whole body. If you can honestly say that these gentlemen should not be a part of School District 88, I have to respectfully ask you to resign off of this board because you are not worth sitting here. I said it before. If you've been here over 10 years, if you've been here over 20-something years and the district is going down, you need to make a move because you're not doing the district any good. You're not doing my tax dollars any good. And I don't know if you're a homeowner here, but if you look at your tax bill says School District 88, and what is our taxes doing? What is your property value doing around here? It's not about just the empty houses that's in Bellwood. It's about the school district. When people go searching for homes, they're looking at the school district, and this is a piss poor district because of the board. Now that I got to actually look yourself in the mirror. Honestly look yourself in the mirror and say, who is more important, politics or the children? Do some soul searching. Get the stuff, that extra noise that's in the ear, get it out your ear. You soul search yourself. Don't wait for no man to give you permission to do your job. Don't wait for no man to give you your permission to do what's right in the school district. You do what's right. Then some things that's going on in the body, some things that's going on in the mind won't go on. Oh, I don't need any slack because I know I'm not going to get it.
Ms. Lang.
To the superintendent and the Board of Education and the community. I have spent 41 years working with this district, and I would like to ask some questions. Because we have students who've gone through this district and they have credentials that none of you would even dream of. We have sent the teachers that we have in this district, and some are still here, have sent many students to colleges, to grad school, and they have well-paid careers. My question to you is, will you, based on your leadership, send the same type of students out in this world, or are we going to be embarrassed with the students that we send out? I have questions for you. Do you really know Bellwood School District 88 and the community? If you did, you would know that we are not impressed with signs or your political connections. We are impressed with effective leadership. Do you know the capability of your students? If you did, then you would showcase their accomplishments and not your win column. Do you know that you have excellent teachers in your district? If you did, you would treat them with dignity, respect, and not humiliation. Do you know how committed your teachers are? If you did, then you would put the children first, as they do, as they spend long hours when you're probably off your job. Do you care how your decisions impact children emotionally? When you treat teachers as if they're disposable, moving them from one place to another because of your personal agenda? One day they're here, the next day they're gone. If you did, you would not make such decisions to remove role models for this district. All districts are looking for male role models, and we are getting rid of ours. Do you care that children, do you care that this community interact in our schools? If you did, you would not throw up barriers to keep the community from working in this district. Rather, you would welcome parents and other organizations in the schools so that they may help when you cannot, because most of you are either retired and not interested or holding full-time jobs. Did you know that you have we have a distinguished record of academic excellence in this school district before we decided to get off track? As I talk to students most of the week, we have doctors, lawyers, vice presidents of Fortune 500 companies, engineers, teachers, pastors, chemists, entrepreneurs. These students were taught by the very people that you disrespect every day. They are still here. I would ask that you would take a look at the history of District 88. Will this list be longer or shorter? Again, I ask you under your leadership. Have you taken the time to even think about your decisions? Are you really, and this is a question that I hope that you would really look into. You must put children first. As we look at papers, we are embarrassed that our children are not first. And the first thing that other communities see is something about money. Our children should be showcased, not our greed, our pettiness, and all of the things that we do. The question I'm going to ask you, are you really in School District 88 to educate our children, or, as they say on the street, to get paid? Thank you.
I'd like to say something, please. Would you do this for me?
I will fill it when I'm done speaking, is that okay?
That's really supposed to be done before.
Okay. Would someone give me a card?
I'll get my thing. I'll get it.
Okay, I've never spoke, my name is Deborah Giles, and I've lived here for 33 years. I came once to your last meeting. I've never had occasion to. I don't have children, so I don't do it. But I am very concerned with my tax dollars, and it ticks me off, because first of all, I'm one of those people that really think that if you don't have children, you shouldn't have to pay these taxes. But then the case there would be, then you shouldn't live in that particular village. Okay. I have been very concerned with the hiring and firing practices of boards in different villages, not just this one. A lot of black ones, I'm sure they're in the white ones too, but a lot of the black ones. When we go in and we get control of the boards, it's like we steal everything. Everything that I've seen thus far has to do with hiring and firing. This board, our library board, you all are trying to take over the jobs of your directors, your principals. Everybody is trying to get a piece of the pie. Yep. Okay, when you do take over the boards and you do the hiring and firing, you have no place. You have no, well, I know with the library, you have no credentials to do that. Okay, I don't know what your backgrounds are in that, but it seems to me the board should be dealing with big projects. As a matter of fact, that's what the law actually says. And that little blue piece of paper that you guys send around that everybody has to fill out, part of that is illegal. You do not have to put your address on any card or anything like that. Now, the board can say, yes, you can, in order to speak, you need to fill out a piece of paper, but it is illegal for you to require that addresses be placed on that. And you as a board should know it. I was also very concerned with Mrs. Hendricks, the article in the newspaper. There were several people that sent it to me. And there's one thing that just absolutely appalled me, but more so than her, you guys voted to give this woman money. You agreed. For what reason? What reason could you possibly have to pay back a pension? $105. And they're trying to cover it up. Okay, that goes into the hiring. I'm speaking now, please.
No, I'm letting that chairman know that I'm not.
It goes against my grain. When I first saw this thing, it just literally just ticked me off. I'm not a person that really curses a lot, but a few nice strings came out of my mouth. Why would you guys do that? Okay, even when you have incentives for hiring people, somebody that's wonderful, excellent. You fired this lady a couple of times. She's come back. You brought her back. Why? What in the world? You guys are not qualified for your jobs, in my opinion, because you make bad decisions for this village. My tax dollars are very important to me. Very, very important to me. You guys don't seem to care about it at all. And I'm speaking to each of you individually, face to face, eye to eye. And to the audience here, you are going to have to change. If you want them to change, you are going to have to change. When we have these meetings, you are going to have to come to these meetings. You're going to have to put yourself out.
We have a 2-minute, no, to speak 2 minutes.
Okay, one more thing. Make sure you get my name and my number before you leave here. If you are really concerned about this board, because we might have to just change the law, because you know what? They're never accountable. They don't get, somebody should go to jail.
Right.
Yes.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Sorry, I don't have a card. I'll fill it out. That's why
Just so you guys know, there is a procedure that those cards are supposed to be filled out 30 minutes ahead of the board meeting, not before.
Well, I apologize to the ladies of the board. You know, I just got off of work. You know how that is. You know, we all work. It was kind of a challenge to get here, you know, in a lot of the amount of time. I just wanted to talk to you all about Principal Glover. I mean,
You need to state your name and your.
Oh, my name is Donnie Reeves, 546 Rice. Is that okay? Huh? Oh, Donnie Reeves. This is not on. Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, you know, we're all looking at this. This is one challenging situation. I won't even get into this. But what you guys are gonna do, and I'm just talking to you just from being in this, pretty much living here my whole entire life and seeing how we've gone from situation to situation. I mean, the Superintendent Hastings thing, that was just a conundrum. It was idiotic in itself. But to take this gentleman who has done nothing but give his heart and soul to the children of this community, you know, and to try to put him in a position that pretty much that doesn't even meet, you know, pretty much his stellar background. I mean, it's just it's asinine. You know, and I mean, you all, for some reason, you all make decisions off of raw emotion, and they're not calculated. That's how you got into the situation that you got into right here. You don't make raw emotions. Trust me. Make sure they're strategic in nature. Don't take pretty much a gentleman, an African-American gentleman, that's over 40, out of his position and try to put him in another position that's beneath. Because you'll be putting yourself right back in this position right here. All right? You all get that. You all understand that, right? Yeah, I'm just saying, you do understand it, right? And then you'll be going through the same situation again. It's asinine. We got to make better decisions. I'm working with people that live in Naperville and everything else. They got a hold of the situation. I was the laughing stock of the office. My suburb. That's embarrassing. All because of the situations that we have here. We can't manage, we can't maintain ourselves. African Americans can't do this, we can't do that. We're always the last, pretty much at the door, and we pretty much hold ourselves back. We got to do a better job, people. I'm begging you all, don't make a crass, non-strategic decision that you're going to regret in pretty much in the near future. Thank you so much for your time. Now
I'm sorry for my tardiness. Pastor Stanton had to cut a hospice visit short so I can get here. I found out about this probably about Gregory Stanton. I've been in the community since 1992. Pastored one of the largest churches in the community. Been involved with the school district from back when Superintendent Montoya was here. Seeing many of the teachers that could have went other places choose to stay here. I'm here to advocate on behalf of Principal Tony Glover. Grew up with him. Parents across the block encouraged us not only to go to school, but to come back to our communities. I recently left Bellwood in 2010 because of a lot of things that was going on in the community. And this is near and dear to me because as African American men, when we choose to give back to our communities, and our communities don't value and don't understand that that same gentleman that's sitting there could have been in Naperville this entire time. He has a stellar career behind him. He came to us with experiences. I have volunteered my own time to support various programs that I could have put on a dollar amount to them, but because those children are our children, I always give up my time to my community. From the library systems to the school systems, before and after school programs to support this school district. One of the things we would do at the end of the summer, before the summer, we would go to the schools and find out what are the schools doing that we should continue to do. I would sit down with Mr. Glover. Here's the things you should have the kids doing during the summertime. And we would do those things. So I'm just really concerned seeing what happened even with Dr. Montoya, and this school system has not bounced back since then and has continual situations being putting the children at risk. We have not had true leadership since Dr. Montoya left. The reason why I say that, not based on the individual, but based on there's no contiguous program, a philosophy of education So I'm just concerned that we're gonna take one of our diamonds out of our community, or considering it, and this is not an individual attack. The board has a responsibility to make sure the needs of your constituents, which are these community residents. Would you want your children to have to go through the same situations that you're about to put that particular school through? I don't care to know all the details, don't have to know all the details. Just knowing it don't feel right and it just don't sound right. So when you're making decisions, make decisions based on there's not just a position, but there's a person that you have to deal with. So I'm here, I cut my day short because this gentleman means that much to me. This school board means that much to me. Just do the right thing.
Good evening, board. My name is Gloria Blackwell. I'm a mom of children that graduated from this district. I have grandchildren who just graduated. I have a granddaughter here. I have a daughter that's an employee. I sat on this board for about 10 years. Marilyn and I worked together for years, hand in hand. And I was really, at that time, really impressed with some of the things that she did in Bellwood. But at this point, I'm really frustrated. I happened to read an article in the Tribune last week, and I was a tax collector for 30 years with the IRS. And it came to my mind, I said, now my boss said, read this article and discuss it in the group meeting. What do you think we would say? And I called another person and said, hey, there's corruption there, political corruption, money laundering, unreported income from both the standpoint of the district and the individual. What else is there? This kind of thing, the corruption, conspiracy. And I said, I sat on that board, and I got to say to these board members, what are you thinking about? What? You know, do any of you want to wear a shirt with DOC on the back? It's that serious when stuff like that hits the front page. And anyone who's white here, I hate to say this, but one of these young white boys in the IRS who wants to move up in the career, because they don't hire us anymore as blacks. You would shoot up your career like that, taking a case like that and moving it up.
Give me his
And
name.
you gave it to them by not doing the right thing. And to the superintendent, don't allow somebody to harm you and take something that they're supposed to. Leave the paper trail, but leave the right one. You got a CPA right there. She knows what a paper trail is. And it's very important when you start talking about money. Federal funds, money coming from the state. Very important. Fiscal responsibility. Each one of you are supposed to be fiscally responsible for the money that comes into this district. And it's time for these people right here to hold each and every one of you accountable for it. And the second thing I want to talk about is the children. I'm a grandmother. I spent Grandma's Day with my granddaughter. And they asked, I was getting ready to leave, come on, Grandma. Because once you one person's grandma, you everybody's grandma. I go to lunch. And the lunch, and I left it in the car, what they eat. Why aren't you eating the food? Grandma, it's nasty. What? It's nasty, Grandma. And the food and the trays just go into the garbage, just go into the garbage. And you know what they pulled out? Flaming hot chips, Takis, and them little juice bottles. All that sodium, all those preservatives and garbage, and we want to know why our kids can't learn. What are we feeding them? What are we giving them? If I would ask, and I don't know, but just a tip of, what all do you spend your budget for food? You have any idea? Thousands of dollars? Thousands of dollars you're spending, but the kids are eating Frito-Lays and chips? What's wrong with that? Have any of you all ever went in at lunchtime and sat in with the children to see what they eat? Have you visited the classrooms? Do you know what's going on? How can you be a board member and not be involved with the children? I'll be back. I'm just through. I'm hot. I'm heated. And I can talk all night. But it's just some things that kind of got to me, and I had to say, you all need to take and look in the mirror. Please. because you're doing some things that don't look well. And they'll get you in a lot of trouble.
Away from policy, because our policy states that you're supposed to sign up for
I get that. I'll
you're
be,
the last one gonna let.
thank you. I'll be very brief.
And Ms. Crawford.
Again, myself, long-time Bellwood resident, educated through District 88, Dorian Barker. Educated through District 88 and 209,
I'm sorry.
Dorian Barker, Dorjanbarker. And you know, I got a lot of pride in this area, you know, where we come from. But it seems like there's always Groundhog Day around here. It's like we come back every couple of years and it's always another decision that the people don't agree with, but somehow our leadership thinks it's the right thing to do. So again, I'm not here to point fingers, do anything like that. I just add, like the young man said before me, is make a sound decision. It's so hard to get African American males to step up and be role models. Yes. And then when we put them in a position of power or something that somebody can aspire to be, and now we're trying to figure out ways to take that away. Now, we complain about all the young men running up and down the street with pants hanging down and not being focused, but then when you put one in front of them that's a good example, now you're trying to take that good example back and give them demotion, which is totally unwarranted. So I just ask again, board, it's the same. We go through this every couple of years. I don't know why we can't get it right. Obviously, you know, the superintendent must knows something because you all keep hiring her back. So just stick with it. I said this 4 years ago. We had one like we steady paying for 2 superintendents all the time. Let's just get one philosophy and go with it. There's a lot of people that want to help out and assist, but things like this kind of deter residents for coming in and trying to step and be a part of helping you all out, because it's the same thing over and over. The board changed. I see some new faces. I see some faces that I was in agreement with for years in the past. But it's like, how do we keep getting back to here again? It's like we change the faces and we still keep getting back to Groundhog Day. So just ask that whatever decision you make, please keep them out here with your own kids going to school. Give them some consistency, and let's make sure we keep any example we got of a black male that's trying to do right in our system. We need to hold on to that and craft and cultivate that instead of demotion. If there's something you feel needs to be worked on, then let's discuss it and do that. But you know, this Groundhog Day stuff has to stop. So thank you.
Hello, board and audience. My name is Patricia Crawford. I live in Bellwood. I ran on the agenda. I've only been here 1 year. My agenda has not changed, and I want it clear. I'm glad the house is packed. I want it clear. I have one agenda, and that's the kids. It's not going to change. Nobody's going to change me. I speak as a resident. Unfortunately, I didn't sit down. This is an unpaid position. I go to work every day. I do my research. I make sure that when I look at that board package, I'm researching that board package, or as a board member. As a resident, I know if our kids are not educated and are behind on other things, they can't compete competitively. My goal is one thing, to get digitally corrected in this community, and nobody's going to stop me. And again, I welcome the challenge. I welcome you to be here to make sure we're on the straight and narrow. Because who does it hurt? It hurts us. I've been here. My home is getting ready to be paid for. Like the young lady said, I'm a grandmother too, but I don't plan on moving. I don't plan on starting life again. So the bottom line is, I know that if the kids are not educated, they're not going to look for crimes in other communities. They're staying right here. And I'm going to be their target. I have one agenda and one agenda only. It's not to go along with anything. It's to do the right thing. So please make sure that everybody knows. No, I'm not a yes person. I'm not a anything person. I am a student person, and I always will be. I ran on the agenda. Why is our community, why are our kids so behind? And I found out, and I'm working to solve this issue. So you can take it for what I'm telling you. My word, I don't have a political agenda or anything. I work a job every day. I don't have political connections or any reasons to do anything but the right thing. And when I can't do the right thing, I will know I have tried. Thank you for your time.
Board, you received the monthly package.